Across the market, I keep seeing the same three things cost sellers more money or more time. And it's usually because of someone who listed on their own, or they listed with someone who never walked them through the full picture before putting the sign in the yard. These aren't dramatic mistakes and no one's getting taken advantage of, but they are things that don't show up until 6 weeks of being on the market and no one's viewed your home. Or you're at the closing table looking at a check that's smaller than you expected. Because once you're in escrow, there's almost no room left to fix these items. My name's Travis Schloderer with Compass. I specialize in San Clemente and South Orange County real estate, and I walk every seller I work with through these 3 steps before we ever go live. So today I'm breaking down what they are, why they're so easy to walk into, and exactly what to check before you list. Let's get into it. 1, pricing your home based off of what you need to walk away with or what your neighbor sold for 2 years ago, rather than what the comps currently suggest. San Clemente is still a tight market. Inventory is at about 2.7 months, but that doesn't mean that buyers will just pay anything. Buyers in 2026 are pulling up every comparable listing in the neighborhood before they even book a showing. If your price is even slightly out of line based off of what's closing nearby, these buyers aren't negotiating. They're just moving on to the next home. Here's the part that makes it worse. Showings drop off in the first 2 weeks. The listing starts looking stale to agents and buyers who are watching the market. And by the time you finally cut price, you're chasing down the market rather than leading it. I've seen homes that would have sold for full price in 10 days sell for less weeks later because they were chasing down a number that wasn't realistic and everybody watched it happen. So here's exactly what to check. Look at the closed transactions in the last 30 to 60 days, not what's actively listed. Active listings are just other sellers hoping, and they're not the real number. Look specifically what the median days to pending is in your specific neighborhood and price to be in the conversation in the first 2 weeks and not be the only home still sitting on the market after 2 months. Mistake number 2, skipping a pre-listing inspection or basic prep. Time and time again, sellers are letting the buyer's inspector be the first one to find the roof leak, the slab crack, or the issue with the electrical panel. That's what you can prep for before even listing the home as a seller. When a buyer's inspector finds an issue that you didn't know about or you didn't disclose because you genuinely didn't know, you lose all negotiation power at that moment. You're already under contract, the buyer is already emotionally involved, but instead of negotiating from a point of leverage, you're negotiating a price cut or a credit back to the buyer, who at the same time is wondering what else is wrong with the property that the seller didn't know about. Typically, fixing what's wrong with your property prior to go on the market is very little compared to what you actually negotiate during the transaction. A pre-listing inspection runs a couple $100 up to $1,200, and that inspector will tell you exactly what's wrong with the home prior to a buyer's inspector ever setting foot in the house. You get to decide, fix it now, price for it, or disclose it up front rather than reacting to someone else's report. I've seen sellers save thousands in eventual repair credits just by handling the issue themselves at retail cost instead of paying the "we're scared and we found this issue" pricing. So here's what to check. Get a pre-listing inspection done before you go live. Address anything that's an easy, cheap fix, and for anything bigger, decide beforehand if you're fixing it, pricing around it, or giving a credit to the buyer at closing. This way, you're the one that's in control of the situation and not your buyer's inspector. Mistake number 3 is having a number in your head that you'll walk away with instead of running a real net sheet until you're deep in escrow. A lot of sellers do the number in their head based off 2 numbers, the sales price minus what they still owe on their mortgage. But your actual net check includes anything from closing costs to commissions, prorated property taxes, HOA or Mello-Roos payoff, and any concessions that you agreed to pay the buyer upon closing. Stack all that up, and the number between what I thought I would make and what I actually make after these expenses could be in the tens of thousands of dollars. And finding that out 3 weeks before closing doesn't give you much time to change your plans. This counts even more if you're relying on that exact number to buy your next home. I've seen sellers get into a tight spot on their next purchase because they had mentally budgeted for something rather than actually run the numbers on a net sheet and find out exactly how much it would cost to sell their current home. So here's what to check. Write up an actual net sheet before you even list your property at proposed prices that you would be fine selling at. Make sure it accounts for closing costs, commissions, any repair items, and any HOA or Melrose payoffs. Update it again when you get an offer with the negotiated terms, so you're looking at real live numbers of what you could potentially sell your home for. So let's put this together in something you can actually use. Before you list in San Clemente, do these 3 things. 1, pull the actual closed comps in the past 30 to 60 days and price competitively to be the leader in the top 2 weeks of your listing going live, rather than sitting on the market for 2 months and having to chase down the market. 2, get a pre-listing inspection done and fix the easy stuff yourself, and then decide how you're gonna handle the bigger stuff so you control the situation and not the buyer's inspector. And 3, write up an actual net sheet before listing your property and update it when you're in contract so you know how much funds you're gonna transfer with the sale of your property into your next property. None of these things should scare you from selling. I help people sell in this city because the fundamentals I bring to them are genuinely strong. These are 3 things that most sellers, when they miss, they regret not doing. And these are things that you can check before even putting your home on the market. So if you're thinking about listing and you want me to run comps for you or go over the net sheet or even just talk about timing, I'll leave my number in the description. You can call or text me, and I'll also leave a Calendly link and we can schedule a one-on-one call and go over those items as well. If this kind of information is useful to you, then make sure that you're subscribed because I cover buying, selling, and market updates in San Clemente and Southern Orange County every week. Drop a comment and let me know which of these 3 things caught you off guard or what you would do differently, and I'll see you in the next one.